Okay, so in this video, we're going to learn how to perform 270-degree rotations counterclockwise and clockwise. We're going to start by doing a counterclockwise rotation 270 degrees. So I have this point right here. It's -3, -4. And I want to rotate it 270 degrees counterclockwise. So counterclockwise is in this direction here. And if we rotate it 270 degrees, we got to go through 3 quadrants. So we got to go 1 quadrant, 2 quadrants, 3 quadrants. So a 270-degree rotation goes through 3 quadrants. So that final point is going to be in this quadrant right here. And we need to figure out what are the coordinates of that point. And here's how you do that. Our starting point is -3, -4. To figure out where that point will be when you rotate it 270 degrees counterclockwise, all you do is take that starting point, ignore the negatives, and switch the numbers. So -3, -4 becomes 4, 3. Ignore the negatives, switch the numbers. But that's not your final answer. We now need to determine where are the negative signs. And to do that, all you do is look at the quadrant where that point will be. It's going to be in this quadrant right here. In this quadrant, the x is negative, whereas the y is positive. Y is positive, the x is negative. So our final answer, the x is going to be negative, and the y is going to be positive. So our final point is going to be -4, 3. And if I plot that, it's going to be over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 3, right here. -4, 3. And that's how you perform a 270-degree rotation counterclockwise. Now let's look at how to do a 270-degree rotation clockwise. Now that procedure is going to be exactly the same, except we're going to go in a different direction. This time we're going to go clockwise. So here's my starting point. It's -5, -3. And I'm going to be going in this direction, clockwise. Again, I have to go through 3 quadrants. If I'm doing a 270-degree rotation, we go through 3 quadrants. That's 1 quadrant, that's 2 quadrants, and that's 3 quadrants, and that's clockwise. So our final point is going to be in this quadrant right here. And we need to figure out what are the coordinates of that point. So again, we take our starting point. Our starting point is -5, -3, and we ignore the negative signs. And we switch the numbers. So -5, -3 becomes 3, 5. We ignore the negative signs, and we switch the numbers. That's not the final answer. Again, we need to determine where does the negative sign go now. Well, look at the quadrant where that final point ends up in, right here. In this quadrant, the x is positive and the y is negative. So in our final answer, the x is going to be positive and the y is going to be negative. And that's your final answer. That's where your final point is going to be. And if I plot that, it's going to be right 3 and down 5. 3, -5. And that's how I do 270-degree rotations.